Hello everyone, welcome to the interviewing show of interviews. Today we have a special guest with us. Please welcome the esteemed Dr. Lieutenant Colonel Professor Author Vash 311 Oops I mean Vuk.
Thank you for the introduction.
It says here you used to be a run escape player. Can you tell us a bit about that experience?
Oh, that crap. Yeah, I played it. I met some pretty leak nuts on it, but other than that it was a huge piece of crap. Oh yeah, and I got a fire cape and lost my Godzord after getting hacked by some Brit. Oh wait, that wasn't me, but it's a cool story anyway.
Interesting. What did you do in the run escape game of clicking?
Well, I hung out with nuds, killed a bunch of fat no-life nuds that played for 19 hours a day and made them rage. But then I quit and started playing Soldier Front.
And what did you do there?
Well, I hung out with nuds, killed a bunch of fat no-life nuds that played for 19 hours a day and made them rage. But this time with guns.
Intriguing. Could you tell us a little bit about yourself? What is it like being an author and what do you write about?
Good questions. I think it is great having so many screaming fans that every time they see me they practically wet themselves. I have one fan, oops I mean hundreds of fans that constantly bother me for updates on my latest and greatest novel, Montel's Bizarre Adventure. But I like to be a jerk and not update ever, oops I mean keep them in suspense and not update ever.
What is your book about?
It's an extra normal story about the triumph of a washed-up bald TV show host that loves to smoke weed and moonlight as a con artist moneylender, except with more airborne steamrollers. You will probably be experiencing his hardships soon, at the rate your show sucks.
So you mostly write fiction?
Absolutely not. Everything I have written is roughly exactly precisely estimated to be 100% factual. These events really happened.
I see. It's probably best that I start smoking weed then. Can you tell us something interesting that happened recently?
Well, I found out certain cartoon characters are actually real. Barney Rubble and Prince Adam are, in fact, walking amongst us. I found this out after meeting them at a motel in Florida. Quite interesting people, but I really wanted to kick Barney's teeth in because he is so annoying. A guy can only take being woken up at 3 a.m. to get begged for cigarettes so many times.
He sounds like a real douchebag. I'm interested to know about some members of your family. What is your relationship with them?
Well, I have one brother you might like to know about. His name is Chippy and he's a 14-year-old sweaty fat nerd who never stops talking about the Beatles and eating Hot Pockets. He has a tendency to try to act like my stuff is his, and makes Johns about how much his stuff sucks when I remind him to stop ruining mine. At least he redeems himself by being tech support, secretary, financial expert, repairman, private Chippy. I love him in spite of all this.
That's a touching story. Do you have anything to say about what it's like to become a doctor?
Certainly. It was rough. Let me tell you that. I climbed up into the mountains and cut off all contact with outside life to prepare for my training. It took every bit of will I had to endure what I did. Why, the frat boys would gather up and throw non-stop parties which I can only assume were supposed to be celebrating how obnoxious they are, considering the time I spent tutoring them proved they were total morons who couldn't spell properly if it meant they would get a free case of Bud Lights.
How did you manage to get by in such harsh conditions?
Well, I basically just pretended that I was playing Street Fighter the whole time, which makes a lot of sense if you really think hard about the parallels between the two. Every time I would get pushed down I came right back up with a DPMFP, and then they caught on fire. Fortunately I never faced any Guiles. I hate Guile when Chippy uses him. He always ducks in a corner and just sits there, waiting and watching, but then you approach him and your teeth get kicked out of your face. I always end up winning when I unplug his controller, though, so good fight.
This has been a wonderful interview. I'm glad you could take the time out of your busy schedule to share this information with all of us. We're running long now though, so it has to come to an end.
Bend over and I'll show you what's really running long.